Hello everybody, Meme Cat here, and oh my god, the music was crescendoing, but anyway guys, welcome back to another Let's Play. And we're back with another dating sim, Everlasting Summer. Now this one is actually a dating sim, and not like Doki Doki Literature Club. Now, is this channel gonna become a dating sim channel? Probably not, but I'm kinda out of games at the moment because Paladins right now is kinda experiencing a player crisis. Like, I went to QO for competitive and like literally nobody was playing competitive in Paladins at the time. So yeah, and playing a good old-fashioned happy dating sim should be good therapy for those who have experienced Doki Doki Literature Club. Now, apparently this game was made by a Russian. Yeah, this is a Russian dating sim, but anime styled. I was having that dream once again. That dream. Same thing every night. But it's all forgotten in the morning as usual. Maybe it's for the best. Only a glimpse of memory will remain of gates half opened, as if inviting me somewhere, with two frozen stone pioneers standing close by. And also that strange girl, who keeps asking me, will you come with me? Come? But where? And why? And where am I anyway? Of course, if it all happened in real life, I would have certainly been scared. Well, what else would one expect to feel? But this is just a dream. The same one I see every night. There must be a reason. You don't have to know where or why to realize something is really happening. Something desperately seeking my attention. Since everything that surrounds me here is real. As real as things in my own flat. I could open the gates, hear the hinges creak, brush the crumbling rust away with my hand, inhale the fresh cool air, and shiver from the cold. It's just lucid dreaming, dude. I could, but to do that, I would need to pick myself up, take a step, move my hand. But this is a dream. I understand that, but what of it? What does my understanding change? Because here it's just like on the other side of the cracked screen of an old TV, which struggles to fight against static noise and strives to show its audience everything without missing a single detail. But the picture is getting blurry. I must be waking up soon. Maybe I should ask her something? The girl. What's her name? About the stars, for instance. Why the stars, though? I'd rather ask about the gates. Yes, the gates! She would be so surprised. Or better, why the dot over an I was called a title, but the dot over a J was called a superscript dot. What? Nice letters. As if they don't exist anymore. By the way, as a side note, sudden interruption to the atmosphere. This game is highly rated on Steam, like overwhelmingly positive. If you're interested, and it's free by the way. So if you're interested, go check it out. Still, what do letters, gates, and stars have to do with this place? Because even if I'm having this dream every night, which will be forgotten soon anyway, I've got to look for answers here and now. And there, if you look carefully, you can see the Magellanic Clouds. As if I'd ended up in the southern hemisphere. In a dream, there are the small things that catch your attention, and the natural color of grass, impossible curves of straight lines, or your own distorted reflection, while the real danger which could put an end to everything right here and now, seems trivial. It's natural, since here you cannot die. I think Freddy Krueger would disagree. I know it for sure. I've done it hundreds of times. But if you cannot die, is there a point in living? Yeah. I should ask the girl. She's a local. She should know. Yes, exactly. I should ask her about the owl, for example. One strange bird it is, flashing yellow eyes at me. Yellow glowing eyes. Though it doesn't matter. Will you come with me? And every time I have to answer. It's the only way, otherwise the dream will never end, and I will never wake up. Yes, I'll come with you. Every time it's so hard to decide on the answer. Apparently not for me. Where am I? What am I doing here? Who is she? It's a dream. You're thinking too much. I have dreams like this all the time. And why does so much in my life depend on this answer? Or maybe it doesn't? It's just a dream after all. Just a dream. Uh-huh. For a moment I thought that was my own keyboard clicking. Hello. My vision. It's blurry as all hell. A chat room? The computer screen stared at me as if it was alive. Did you seriously fall asleep on the computer? Sometimes it really did seem to me that it was conscious of itself, had its own thoughts and wishes, ambitions, that it had feelings, could love and suffer. As if in our relationship, the screen wasn't an instrument. It was me who was a lifeless piece of plastic and textolite. The hell is textolite? There is some truth in that. Probably because the computer provides 90% of my communication with the outside world. Is he a hikikomori? Anonymous image boards, some chats from time to time, rarely ICQ or Jabber, and forums even more rarely. People on the other end of the internet cable simply do not exist. All of them are simply creations of its sick imagination, an error in the source code or kernel bug, which started living a life of its own. Dude, what are you thinking? What is this dude on right now? If one looked at my existence from the outside, such thoughts would seem crazy, and a psychologist would surely give me a bunch of sophisticated diagnoses, and maybe write me a doctor's referral to the loony bin. Yeah, it does seem crazy. Definitely. A small apartment with no signs of repair or any semblance of order in it, and always the same view out the window on the grey megalopolis, running somewhere day and night. Such are the conditions of my life. Well, of course, it didn't all start like this. I was born, went to school and finished it, like all the others. I was accepted at a university where I spent a year and a half trailing behind and struggling. I drifted through several jobs. Sometimes it was working out quite well, sometimes I was even getting decent money for it. But it all felt like it was not mine, as if taken from another man's biography. I wasn't living life to its fullest. It was looping over and over in monotonous circles. Like in the movie Groundhog Day. I love that movie. It's just that I had no choice in how to spend my day, and every day repeated itself, the same vicious spiral. A spiral of emptiness, misery, and despair. For the last few years, I just sat in front of the screen all day. Sometimes there were menial jobs, sometimes my parents helped me. All in all, I was able to provide for myself. No wonder, really, since my needs are quite minor. I hardly ever leave my home, and my communication with other people almost exclusively consists of online correspondence with the anonymous, who have no real name, no gender, no age. So, in brief, a quite typical life of a quite typical antisocial person of his time. Kind of Donnie Darko on a minor scale, without doomsday-related visions. Maybe some highly respected author will write a novel about me, and it will become a contemporary classic of modern literature. Or I will write one myself. However, what's the point of fooling myself? I tried many times, but couldn't even come up with a simple short story. I tried to learn many other things as well. Not gifted enough to draw. Programming, got bored. Foreign languages takes too much time. The only thing I loved doing was reading, but I still never would have called myself a scholar. Perhaps I was an ace at watching anime and a grandmaster of lame internet jokes. Again, the main protagonist is a shut-in with no life. If I were to get paid for it, I would probably be a happier person, and a richer person too, but I doubt it would fill the hole inside of me. Russia. A cold place. Is this even Russia? He is in Russia, right? Today was another typical day of a typical failures, typical life. And today is the day when I have to go to my university reunion. Frankly speaking, I really didn't want to. What is the point? The time I spent with them was so short. However, I was persuaded by a friend, my former university mate, and one of the few with whom I kept in touch, other than through the internet. We are the ultimate shut-in. We'll almost hit Komori levels. We'll almost hit Komori levels of shut-in. God damn, there's just snow everywhere. Freeze your ass off. Is that us? We need to shave. A frosty evening. Bus stop. Waiting. I never liked winter. Who does? Though hot summer is not my season either. Yeah. It's just that I see no reason to point out any particular time of the year. It doesn't matter much what the weather is outside when you stay at home 24/7. Of course it matters. The bus today was running so late that I was about to curse it all and spend my last few hundred rubles for a taxi. The idea of just returning home didn't cross my mind for some reason. As usual, millions of thoughts flew through my mind, but that was not a single useful one to seize on. Such a thought that you could bring into existence, give a shape, turn into an idea, and put into practice. Maybe I could start my own business? But where would I get the money from? Or maybe I could go back to working in an office? No way. Maybe I should try freelancing? But what skills do I have and who would want me after all? Basically an existential crisis. I suddenly remembered my childhood. Or rather my teen years, the time when I was 15 to 17 years old. Why exactly those years? No idea. I guess it's because back then, everything was much more simple. It was easier to make decisions, so complicated now and so simple then. Waking up in the morning, I knew exactly how my day was going to pass, and I always eagerly looked forward to the weekend. Then I could get up, get some rest, and have time for the things I liked. Computer, football, going out with friends. And then at the beginning of next week, I'd take up my studies again. Back then there were no such worrying questions like why, who needs it, what will change if I do it, or what will not change. A simple lifestyle, so casual for any normal person and so odd to myself today. That careless childhood age. It was also then that I met my first love. Her appearance and personality have vanished from my memory. Not so much of first love, I guess. Name. Only her name remains, like a brief line from a social network profile, along with the feelings which overwhelmed me when I was with her. Affection, tenderness, the desire to care for her and to protect her. Sadly, it didn't last long. Today, I can hardly imagine something like that happening. I would probably like to meet a girl, but I don't know how to start a conversation, what on earth to discuss, and how to attract her. Well, I haven't met any suitable girls for a long time. But where could I meet one anyway? The university or union park? Oh, the bus is here, hooray! The sound of an engine brought me back to reality. A bus pulled over. There was something abnormal about it, I thought. Then again, it doesn't matter. Only the 410 runs this route. Oh, this is a classic get on the bus and go to somewhere. Oh! Street lights pass me by. It's as if the cold light sparks inside of me, trying to ignite feelings long dead. It's speeding up. Or maybe not ignite, just awaken them. Because those feelings, they have been living in me for a long time, slumbering and waking up again. The driver's radio was playing some very familiar tune. But I wasn't listening to it. I was watching the cars passing by through the fogged up window. Because people are always rushing somewhere, chasing something they need, stuck in their own little worlds. Why would they care about mine? They probably have their own serious problems, or maybe they have much easier lives. You can't know for sure, since all people are different. Or are they? Or are they? Sometimes someone's actions can easily be predicted, but if you try to look inside his soul, you will only see impenetrable darkness. The bus was approaching downtown, and my thoughts were interrupted by the bright city lights. Hundreds of billboards, thousands of cars, millions of people. I watched this light show, and somehow I got terribly sleepy. My eyes closed just for a moment, and then... we got transported as a chosen one to an RPG world. Is this the intro? Oh, the sign at the bus stop. That was the camp sign. I think we're decently good looking. Not ugly, not handsome. Decently good looking. Excuse me, but who's driving the bus? Hello. What? I can't read that name. Huh. Interesting art style. Damn, that angle shot. We got Hatsune Miku over here. Cat? Russian. Well, it's everlasting summer in Russian. de uno. Oh, that deep piano. Bright daylight struck my eyes. At first I didn't pay attention, as I wasn't fully awake yet. On their own, my legs carried me towards the door. Damn, looks like I fell asleep and missed my stop. Our name is Semyon? But there was no door. I looked around the bus and realized that it wasn't a good old worn out Liaz. Instead, the bus was an Icarus model, a new one. You know bus models? I froze in shock. How? What? Am I dead? Have I been kidnapped? No, I must be dead. I patted myself down feverishly, slapped myself painfully in the face a few times, banged my forehead on the back of one of the bus seats. It's clear. Either I'm still alive or you can still feel pain when you're dead. But how could this happen? Maybe I slept for too long and ended up at the bus depot. And then what? Did they put me onto another bus? I rushed out and took a look around. Well, you found the door. Greenery wherever I looked. Tall grass on the roadside, trees, flowers. Summer! But how? We just went Rip Van Winkle. Yeah, that guy that slept. It was winter just a moment ago. My head was aching unbearably, as if it was going to explode. Slowly, I began to remember. Remember that we legit just teleported somewhere? A long road running off into the distance. Forests, plains, fields, lakes, and forests again. I think I was sleeping, but then how can I remember all of it? And then, a gap. Some girl leaning over me. She softly whispered something into my ear. Then a gap again. We have amnesia, that's what it is. And then I woke up here. Who was that strange girl? Or was she just a dream? For some reason, thinking about her made me feel better and calm down a little. I felt warmth all over, coming from the inside. Could it be her who brought me here? Then I need to find her. And the best place to look for her is away from here. I rushed to the left, then to the right, then stopped, hesitating over where to go. Finally, I ran the direction from which the bus had probably came. Yeah, I don't think jogging over yonder will get us anywhere. Physical exercise does refresh one's mind. Thoughts become clearer, and it gets a little easier to evaluate the surrounding reality. Not in my case, however. I was sitting on the roadside, wheezing and trying to ease my sore throat by gulping breaths of hot air. In any case, the run did its job. The fear withdrew for a while. Exercise is good, kids. Maybe I really am just dreaming? Though recalling my self-harm on the bus, I immediately rejected the idea. Yeah, I can lucid dream really well. Yeah, our name is Semyon. I am neither dreaming nor dead. I can lucid dream pretty well, but pain is impossible to simulate. I just don't know how to simulate pain in dreams. A narrow road ran through the field and far into the distance. That exact same road from my dream. I must be very far away from home. Oh, you think? And it's not just that it was winter yesterday and it's summer now. It's the whole environment. Of course, summer is usually like this, green and hot, but here everything is not entirely lifelike. Everything looks like it was taken from the paintings of Russian landscape artists of the 19th century. The grass is just too lush. The bushes are not like what bushes should be. They're so thick that you can't see anything through them. Like treetops, honestly. Hey, if you put bushes in a good temperate climate, that'll happen. And the trees themselves. The forest was quite away, but the trees looked as if they had closed their ranks and were now just waiting for the order to advance into the fields and plains. Or maybe you've stayed inside for too long and forgot how reality looks like. I caught my breath and looked at the bus, which was now barely visible. That was a good run. Fear overtook me once again. Those power lines. There must be people here. But what does it mean? In fact, that means nothing at all. Couldn't they have power lines even in hell? Roasting sinners over hot coals? That's so last century. Yeah, I actually like that idea. Hell upgrading its technology. We don't roast people over coals anymore. We put them into microwaves and just, push a timer and then we just leave. That's it. It's simple. No need to just stand there and keep roasting them. That's difficult and laborious. I must have reached a point of no return, after which you should either lose your mind completely or finally try to understand what is going on. At least this man has a good sense of storylines. And while I still have a choice, I should pick the second option. Hooray for non-nihilism. I slowly headed back to the bus. Of course it was scary. But I'm not likely to find an answer in the fields of the woods, and this wretched bucket of bolts is the only kind of link that I have with the real world. Le Camp. I should carefully scout the area. Sure. Sovyonok means outlet. Thank you for the info there. A brick wall and its gates crowned with the Sovyonok sign. Statues of pioneers standing on either side, and a road sign nearby showing the bus route number 410. Ho ho. The trip's taking a bit too long today. I smirked. Person may start acting inappropriately in extreme situations. Something like that is probably happening to me now. This place didn't look abandoned at all. No rust on the gates, no damage to the walls. Sovyonok. What could have a name like that? I apologize if I'm butchering it, but that's the best of my ability. I may have a Russian piano teacher, but that doesn't mean that I know Russian. Judging by the pioneer statues, it could be a kid's summer camp. Why don't I just read the entirety of this in a Russian accent? Moreover, it appears to be open. Of course, the simplest explanation, logically speaking, explains nothing at all. The strange girl, the altered bus, Summer, the pioneer camp. I don't know what accent. That's probably not Russian. Thousands of theories went through my mind instantly. From alien abduction to lethargic sleep, from a hallucination to a time and space shift. None was worse than any other, but there was really no way to pick a single one. Then it occurred to me. I can try to make a phone call. I'm probably torturing you guys right now. I took out my cell phone and dialed the first number from my contact list. Anything? But instead of signal strength bars, the screen was showing a thick cross. Alright, there may be no signal in such a remote place. Though I cannot be the only one who came here. Buses don't drive themselves. I think Tesla would disagree. I examined the bus from all sides to make sure that it wasn't hallucination. Bits of dirt on the bottom, some rust here and there, faded paint and worn out tires. No, this is definitely a very ordinary Icarus. Yeah, exactly the kind of bus which takes you to places beyond your understanding if you carelessly fall asleep. Comment down below if you want me to do the Russian accent or not. But for now we're gonna go with the normal one. I gave a nervous chuckle. It came out by itself, sporadically. Because this wasn't the right place or time to laugh. Laughing is good. It helps you keep your sanity. But where on earth is the driver? I cautiously sat down on the curb beside the bus and started to wait. My patience didn't last long. My anxiety seemed to have reached its peak, and I started to go slightly mad. In such a situation, anyone would have probably felt something similar. No, because there's nothing, your life isn't at risk right now. So far, it's still okay. Aliens and parallel universes were gone from my imagination, leaving only void and darkness. Is this how everything will end? How my life will end? But I wanted to do so much. There are so many things that I had no time for yet. I was overwhelmed by the idea. This was definitely the end. But why? It's not fair. Surely I'm no worse than anyone else. God, why? And then we sleep again. Tears were burning my eyes unbearably. I curled up and started rolling in the grass. My God, this man goes... He's already imagining some really bad things. Why? What did I do? Why me? But my cries were only heard by the speechless statues of the pioneers and a bird in a tree, which immediately flapped its wings and took off, crying out something in its own bird language, as if laughing at the idiot who dared to interrupt its after-dinner nap. I was left breathless from weeping and just lay quietly, sobbing occasionally. After a while, I managed to pull myself together. Good job, man. My mind cleared up a bit, as if terror and the fear of death gave me a little break. Come on, you're Russian. You're a badass. All in all, if someone wanted to kill me, what is all this for? Doesn't look like an experiment either. If this is just some crazy coincidence, then there's probably no threat. Now he's thinking logically. Anyway, for now it seems there's no danger. The panic was soon gone. Of course, the blood was still pounding in my temples, and my hands were still shaking, but at least I could think clearly now. Right now, there's nothing I can really change anyway. So no matter how much I think or how mad I get, it would only make things worse. This man is quite smart. Until some actual facts appear, there's really no point in making guesses. In any case, I won't learn anything by lounging about here. Thank God the main character has common sense. The camp, if of course it is really a camp, looked like the only place where people could be, so I decided to go there, and hardly had I reached the gates when a girl came out from behind them, holding a railgun. Nope, no railgun. Wearing a pioneer uniform, and incredibly cute. My logic didn't let me down this time. Then again, a pioneer uniform in the 21st century. And then again, a girl here. I froze, unable to take a step. I'm sorry, you're the first human being I've seen in 1,000 years. I felt very much like running away. Running as far away as I could from this place. Far from this bus, gates, statues, and far from this bloody bird with its siesta. Just running, free like the wind, faster and faster, waving to the planets passing by, winking at the galaxies. This man is poetic. You should go become a poet. Running, becoming a pulsar ray, and turning into vestigial radiation, running to face the unknown. Definitely a poet. Run no matter where, as long as it is far away from this place. Meanwhile, the girl came closer and smiled. Hi. Hello. I could not help but notice her beauty, even though I was trembling with fear. Human instincts work independent of consciousness, and while only 5% of the brain is responsible for cognitive processes, the remaining 95% are always busy sustaining life, and in particular, ensuring stable functioning of the hormonal system. I desperately wanted to get less complicated and stop thinking in formal quotes from an encyclopedia, though my thoughts appeared one by one, being stupid, out of place, as if taken from an internal monologue of the hero of some junky, soft-cover crime fiction book. You know what the greatest thing is? Just say hi. A pretty Slavic face, long braids that looked like 2 armfuls of fresh hay, and blue eyes you could drown in. Oh, we return to the girl voices. Hi, you must have just arrived. Reply. Yeah. Alright then, welcome! She smiled broadly. Strange. It looks like as if I had just a normal girl in front of me. Bah, I shouldn't have returned here. The woods and fields seem better. But what shall I do next? Try to speak with her as if she was a human, or run away, or what? Oh god, I didn't save. Nuts. Well, I'll save before the next question. God damn it, I didn't save. The blood was pumping unbearably in my head, tearing it apart from the inside. A little bit more and the poor pioneer girl would be splattered with the gruesome contents of my skull. What's so funny about that? The girl looked me over. It sent shivers down my spine and my knees started to tremble. Nothing. Great then. Great? What's so great about that? Suddenly a thought crossed my mind. To hell with it. Forget about the bus behind me. The fact that it was winter yesterday and summer today. I wanted to rip off my itchy sweater and just accept that all of this is actually happening. Everything is as it should be. All this is for the best. Would you happen to know... You should go to a camp leader. She'll tell you everything. Look. You go straight ahead to the square, then turn left. You'll see several small cabins. She pointed at the gates as if I knew what was behind them. Well, you can ask someone where Olga Dimitrievna's cabin is. Dimitrievna is a patronymic, a derivative of a person's father's name, in this case Dmitri, put by Russians after the person's first name as a sign of respect or formal address. Alright, Russian culture. Got it? Of course I didn't. Well, I've got to go now. The girl waved her hand at me and disappeared through the gates. It seemed as if to her I was something ordinary. And all this showed the bus and the travels while awake or asleep were troubling only to me, while everything here is just the way it is supposed to be. Camp leader, pioneer uniform. What? Are they doing a historical reenactment here? I hope I won't find Lenin standing atop an armored car in the square. But even that would not surprise me right now. After standing alone for a while, looking like a dumbass, I headed into the camp. A mere 50 meters ahead, a small one-story house popped up on the left side. The sign near the door said, Clubs. I was about to come closer. Oh my god, that door opening noise just scared the bejesus out of me. When the door suddenly opened, and a short girl wearing a pioneer uniform came out, looking rather grumpy. Her pretty face gave me the impression of one suffering for the fate of the whole of mankind with a truly universal sorrow. As soon as she saw me, the girl froze, as if frightened. I froze too, considering what was the best to do, to approach first, or wait until she showed some initiative. Or maybe run away after all. Dude, stop the running away. Although this last option was constantly being suggested, only by my self-preservation instinct. Or at least that's what I'd like to believe. Not the worst human instinct, but far from the most logical. If this instinct played poker against deductive abilities, the outcome would be predetermined. And those deductive abilities, or at least their semblance, were hinting to me that there was no need to be afraid of this girl. Suddenly someone jumped out of nearby bushes. If you call this girl short, this is mega shorty. A girl wearing bright red t-shirt with USSR written on it. That's how USSR is written? But those are the same exact letters, like that's just C, 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 and then P. Well, I guess it's Russian. Such a perfect reproduction of the age. She looked quite short from a distance and was probably younger than both pioneer girls, the one at the gates and this girl at the door of the clubs. At last I decided to come closer, but the USSR, as I called her in my mind, jumped towards the first girl and started telling her something while wildly waving her arms. The other girl in turn seemed confused and lowered her gaze, remaining silent. I would have probably continued to observe the amusing dialogue, but the USSR suddenly pulled something out of her pocket and started waving it in front of the first girl's face. This something turned out to be a grasshopper. The first girl squealed. She must not be too keen on insects, as she instantly rushed off towards the place where Lenin presumably made his speech about the workers' and peasants' revolution. That is to say, towards the square. The USSR glanced at me, grinned playfully, and dashed after her. Not a bad start to the day. I have absolutely no clue where I am. Besides that, there are some kids here role-playing as pioneers. And as far as I can tell, this place is located thousands of kilometers away from my home. It might even be a different reality. And this was indeed a reality. I mean, everything around me seemed so real, if a little embellished, that I was starting to think that in fact my previous life could have been just a dream. And what am I supposed to do now? Are you serious? My god, this man is somewhat of a docile creature. I was picking at the cracked paving stones with my shoe and staring aimlessly at the club's building. Just a few more seconds before I had to come up with some decision. That's when I recalled myself rolling on the grass, weeping. I cringed in disgust. Perhaps it's another instinct. When all energy for whimpering and self-pitying is used up, the body either goes into hibernation or mobilizes its reserves. Mine seemed to have chosen the second option, because out of the blue, I found the determination to figure out what was going on. And in order to do that, I had to act like a man, like a human, to maintain the dignity of a representative of my own world. I followed the path to the left, on the right side of which stood small cabins, apparently the homes of local pioneers. Actually, they looked quite cozy from the outside. Even though I was born in the Soviet Union, I had never been part of its children's organizations, neither the pioneers nor even the Young October children. Some Russian history here that I don't exactly know. I imagined the daily life of a typical pioneer camp a bit differently. Huge barracks with long rows of metal bunks, a wake-up call at 6 o'clock played by a siren, 1 minute to make your bed, then joining the formation in the drill square and 10 hut. Or wait! Could I be confusing it with something else? Something suddenly struck me on the back. I staggered but remained on my feet, turned around and prepared to fight heroically for my life. But all I found was another girl standing before me, looking pissed off as all hell. Hi, you have very beautiful eyes. My mouth hung open in surprise. Pick your jaw up off the ground. I closed my mouth. The same pioneer uniform, but the way she was wearing it looked, let's say, provocative. Oh, what makes you think that? Like all the girls I had met here before, this one was rather cute, but her overly arrogant expression killed any desire to get to know her better. New here, are you? Fine. See ya. She threw a threatening glance at me and walked past. I waited for the pioneer girl to turn the corner. Who knows what else she might have been up to? The most interesting thing was that even this hostile girl seemed completely normal to me. She did not give off the feeling of some deadly danger. Except maybe the danger of getting punched in the nose. At last, I managed to make it to the square. And that's where we're gonna end this episode if I can figure out how to save. Ah, there we go. It's save game. I select and click save game. Got it. What's this button? Let's load. What's this? That's the That's the thing. What's this? Oh, okay. Alright then, well, that's where we're gonna leave it off. Alright, this game is kicking off to a good start. We've already met 4 girls. And yeah, I'm looking forward to this, really. Although there is a lot of text here, like a lot in the beginning. Like there was so much. I'm actually a little bit tired from reading all of it. And we're back to having to create the girl voices. Oh boy. And don't forget to comment down below whether you want me to speak in a stupid Russian accent for the rest of the series for like the protagonist. Comment down below and I'll decide whether to do it or not based on your response. But anyways, this is it for now. I hope you guys enjoy. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, only if you want to, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!